Hello, YouTube vinyl community. It's Robert S., and welcome back to RobScure Music. This video is my entry into a contest that is being run by my good friend Sam St. John, also known as Americana Sam on YouTube. So I'll put a link to his channel down in the description. Please click on that link, enter the contest, certainly subscribe. One of the things you need to do to be able to do this contest is to subscribe to his channel. Sam is trying to get to 2,000 subs, so hopefully we can make that happen for him. And what he's doing is he's celebrating his 5th year on YouTube. And I can't believe it's 5 years already. Sam was actually one of 2 people who were persuading me to make a YouTube channel. So here I am. Thank you, Sam. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So, hey, let's leave that in. Anyway, Sam wants us to, as part of this contest, to make a video and keep it somewhat short. I'm going to try to keep it under 7 minutes like he suggested. And there are 5 prompts that we have, 5 things we need to do. We need to show albums or talk about albums. So let's just get right into it. The first one is he wants us to find or mention an active artist who hasn't released an album in 5 years or more. So for people my age, it's hard because some of the groups I've listened to in the past, either they're gone or they've just stopped making the albums a long time ago. Newer groups, obviously, are releasing albums. So I tried to think of one, and the first one that came to mind was Heart. I don't have their last album, which was released in 2016, I believe, or 2018, 2016, I think. But I'm showing this one. I just picked one of the albums at random, and I happened to pick up Little Queen, which is actually a great album. It's got Barracuda on it, and what else? Kick It Out, Little Queen. So anyway, Heart, I kind of wish they would put out a new album. Love to hear some new music, but I think there's a little bit of a conflict. I think Anne wants to continue to sort of find new ways to kind of break the mold, whereas Nancy, I think, wants to stick with the old formula, so they've got a difference of opinion in terms of their musical direction. The second prompt is to show a group's 5th album. Now, I like obscure stuff, and while this is not necessarily obscure, it's something that is not necessarily in the mainstream. And I'm kind of, I don't know if it's cheating. It's accurate, but rather than calling this the band's 5th album, this is their 5th release. And their 5th release was, and this is by the Tedeschi Trucks Band. Their 5th release was actually a series of 4 albums that are sort of related. And these are, it's all called I Am the Moon. The first one is I Am the Moon, and I forget now, Crescent. The second one is I Am the Moon, Ascension. The third is I Am the Moon, I can't even read this, The Fall. I should have looked at these before I started the video. And the last one is I Am the Moon, Farewell, Part 4. And collectively, these are fantastic, fantastic albums. And these were actually recorded in separate parts over consecutive full moons in 2022. So if you have an opportunity, take a listen to these albums, or honestly anything Tedeschi Trucks does, because they're great, and I don't think enough people really understand that. Okay, next, number 3. We are to show the 5th album in our record collection. Well, I keep my vinyl and my CDs separate, obviously, so it would probably be different if I picked the vinyl versus the CD, but as it turns out, it would be the same group. So I went with vinyl, and it happens to be after ABBA. I've got a couple ABBAs, and then I've got the first ABC album, Lexicon of Love, and then their second, and then the fifth on my shelf is ABC's How to Be a Zillionaire. What a fun album this is. They had released, their first album was actually, and it's my favorite, the Lexicon of Love, one of the classic 80s albums. The second was Beauty Stab, which didn't do quite as well, but I still think it's a fantastic album. So this was kind of their way to come back, and they really did. And this is Martin Fry and Michael White. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. And then they actually added David Yarritu, who's an American musician and actually a photographer and musician. I think the only music he did was on this album. And a woman called Eden. Fiona Powell, I think was her real name. Anyway, this is a great album. They had a couple singles off of here. Be Near Me, Vanity Kills, How to Be a Millionaire. But the album, this is such a great album. It's fun. Fear of the World, Be Near Me is great. Vanity Kills, Ocean Blue, 15th Story Halo is great. How to Be a Millionaire, Tower of London, So Hip It Hurts. Fantastic. So that's the fifth album on my shelf. An album that you like to play in the car. And I'll show the vinyl, but obviously I play the CD in the car. But I like to listen to a lot of CDs and a lot of different types of music in the car. But I think of like cars and speed, and when you're on the highway, got to go with Born to Run. Classic. Bruce at his finest, in my opinion. And Clarence, amazing album. Every song on here is fantastic. Jungle Land, probably my all-time favorite of Bruce's and one of my favorite songs ever. And then last item is to show an album that we paid $5 or less for. Well, I do that a lot, but I actually picked up one after seeing Stephen Schnee's video about this. The Cars, Door to Door. This is a great album that I neglected when it came out. I was able to pick this up for $4.99, so it is under $5. And I didn't realize, honestly, just how good the Cars still were at this point. I also picked up, and this is actually my most recent purchase, for $1.99, Burt Bacharach. And this is Make It Easy on Yourself, featuring I'll Never Fall in Love Again, This Guy's in Love with You, She's Gone Away, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, Any Day Now. Fantastic. So that's it. Good luck to everyone who's entering the contest. Sam, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate that you're doing this. I really appreciate your videos, and I appreciate your friendship. We still have to meet in person one day, but let's make that happen. If not in 2025, certainly in 2026.